winning that game. You know, I didn't have them winning that game, especially once Liverpool scored the goal. You think, well, like you say, that's what the champions do. But the credit to Palace, kept going.
Did you see flaws in Liverpool against Palace that you haven't seen so far this season that might be a concern for Arne Slot?
I think there was huge concerns at the back, especially. I think Konate had one of them games he's definitely wanting to forget. He was, don't know, his head was all over the place, it seemed. You know, Mateta, you know, had a great game, but he didn't know how to deal with him, didn't know how to go tight, didn't know how to challenge him there, got booked for pulling him back. He looked scrambled yesterday, he really did, Konate. And again, you know, Arne Slot even said himself after, it could have been 3 or 4-0 down at half time. It's not just down to Konate. Like, as a defensive unit, there will be concerns. I mean, Gravenberch in recent weeks has done brilliant, but he's come up with assists and goal, and maybe he's getting away from that discipline of sitting as a number 6, especially away from home in the Premier League. It's, you know, you have to be really disciplined in the midfield as well. So there'll be not alarm bells just now, but there'll be huge concerns after that game at the weekend.
Ekitike, of course, was suspended after what he did in the League Cup, but Wiertz returned to the starting level, but this time he played off the left, and again he found it difficult to get into the intensity of...
I think that when the players do come from the Bundesliga, they do come, and as good as they are, because he is a top quality player, Florian Wirtz, they do come and they are surprised at the pace and the levels that you have to play in the Premier League. And, you know, they'll play against teams, like he'll play against teams with Bayer Leverkusen when they were at the top of the league, and they'll blast those teams off the pitch. But you'll come here and you'll play against a Palace or a Sunderland or a Leeds, and it's a tough game. And he's got to get to his levels in respects of the expectation for a start, but then his own levels, his fitness levels, his strength levels, to deal with the fatigue that the Premier League can put on you.
Yeah, he started him on the left yesterday as well, Wirtz. You know, Gakpo was on the bench. He changed it at half-time because first half it clearly didn't work. He's still finding his feet, but what I would say, you know, seen a graphic recently where he's first in running stats, high intensity, covering ground. There's no question mark over his work rate and all that kind of stuff. And I do believe he's a quality player. He just, as Wright says, he's got to find the pace of the Premier League and find them pockets that he did find in the Bundesliga a bit more. But again, it's a lot more rough and tumble, the Premier League sometimes, and a player like that has to be even more aware, I suppose, of his surroundings. He's not got the perfect position for him yet. Of course, Isak started yesterday after the Ekitike sending off as well. Maybe it's a bit soon for him as well because he's no pre-season. So there's all these little things maybe that didn't work for Liverpool yesterday.
And the Isak Ekitike thing is a fascinating subject going forward. I mean, it's a lovely problem to have, but do you think it may become a problem? Michael was asking Arne Slot last week, could I either play from the left? And he virtually said no, he sees them both as nines.
Well, it just seems really strange to me because Ekitike knows that, you know, that Isak's coming, because we didn't know. Everybody didn't know how he was going. But then he signed for them and and then he signs, then he starts and he scores and he's doing brilliantly. Then they sign him, and then you're thinking, well, I've now got to fight for the £125 million player. I've got to fight for my position with him. So if he can keep doing what he's doing at Ekitike, you know what I mean, then the manager's got a problem. But if you've cost that much money, you're probably going to play. So, you know what I mean? I don't know if Ekitike knew that he was definitely coming when he signed, because if I'm going to be totally honest, I'm not signing if I know that he's coming. No chance.
The other issue you might have, Steve, as well, is Mo Salah. Obviously, Mo Salah's getting on a bit as well. He never seems to take him off. He never seems to arrest him either. You know, Isak could possibly play on the right as well. But it feels like Mo Salah's untouchable at times, and he needs to find his form as well, because he looks just a wee bit off it at the minute.
We'd expect the champions, as always, to respond, but this is what they've got coming up in the next few weeks. They've got a couple of Champions League games, both away, particularly the Istanbul trip this week on Tuesday to Galatasaray, and then in Germany, in Frankfurt, and sandwiched in between those, a trip to Stamford Bridge and Manchester United at home. And, you know, when you're going for the Champions League and you are the Premier League champions, that's the type of list you're going to face.
And to be fair, I know they've got 15 points, but they lost yesterday, of course, but people from the outside of Liverpool think, oh, we're doing great because we haven't dropped the point before yesterday. But they've had so many late winners, and they haven't hit the heights of last season yet. Again, we talk about Eddie Howe before, maybe not finding the perfect formula. I don't think Arne Slot's found that either. You know, he's signed a lot of players, he's spent a lot of money in the summer, but still you're trying to fit different people in different positions, and they haven't got that right yet.
Interesting. Well, Liverpool ending their 100% start to the season. There is only one team left unbeaten in the Premier League this season, and that is Crystal Palace. What a job their manager's doing. Oliver Glasner.
a win is always a great result, and of course, if you win against the champion, then it's even better. But at the end, it sort of was really impressed. I think we played the best first half since I arrived, or since we arrived, and we won all up. Then, but of course, then teams like Liverpool, they're always able to strike back, and this is what they did. Second half, the pressure was so high, and then they missed 1-2 chances, and then they got the equalizer, like it was in the last games. Always, for them, and then really huge credit to the players. I told them, I think 9 of 10 teams, they're not losing, because they had the momentum on their side, and we stroked back and getting the game winner at the end. And I'm really delighted for Eddie Nketiah, coming back from a very long injury, and he worked so hard in rehab, and then getting this reward. So for him as a person, I'm really delighted, and of course for the team, I'm very proud that we could win against Liverpool.
So not just unbeaten this season, unbeaten in 18 games in all competitions. A couple of Wembley victories in there as well. And they are unbeaten in 12 Premier League games for the first time in their Premier League history. I mean, this is not just a little bit of consistency. It's not a fluke. This is some run from Oliver Glasner and Crystal Palace. It
is. And you have to remember as well, they lost their best player in Eze. They've done well to keep hold of Mark Gahey. Liverpool would have seen it firsthand, especially with Konate's form, how important he might be to them. But in respects of a manager and what Oliver Glasner's done in the way that they play, how hard they work, the quality they've got. And then if you can start getting someone like Eddie Nketiah, who's got pedigree in respects of finishing, if you can get him firing and finishing, the way he took his chance was very good. He took the chest and finished it well. If he can get himself going alongside Mateta, they are a dangerous team.
He's delivered a trophy, he's delivered European football. And I guess we've talked about Eddie Howe a lot over the last few years. The ultimate test is the players he's improved. And probably each and every one of them. I mean, Adam Wilson springs to mind, Gahey, and Mateta's numbers since Glasner came on.
You've nearly spoke about the spine of the team there. Henderson in goal as well. Gahey, Wharton, I love him as a player. And Mateta, we look at, Sesko, 70+ million in Man United. You look at even Voltemata, nearly 70 million. I'm shocked that no one's touched Mateta, because he's proven in the Premier League. And
someone tried right at the depth of the window.
He's a player, man. He's a really good player. But Oliver Glasner as well, the job he's done. If people talk about Man United and systems and stuff, and about free at the back and this system, that's the system he plays. And he's been so successful. Now, is that down to the